Welcome to the IDP Hunting Grounds. I'm your host, Steve Hungarter. You guys can find me on my Twitter handle, IDP Hunters. As you guys already know, I'm a writer over at the Fancy Six Pack and over at IDP Guys. But tonight, I want to do a special podcast with you, okay? I brought in a guest. He came here all the way from Canada, okay? He flew all the way into Canada tonight just to talk to you guys, okay? Let me tell you about Aaron St. Denis, okay? Also known as AKA the fancy football mad scientist, okay? He's a writer over at Fantasy Pros. He's a writer over at the DLF Football, okay? He's over on Roto World. He's a writer at IDP Guys. What doesn't this guy do? He's on DLF. He's on Player Profiler, and he's also the co-founder of the Fantasy Football Universe. How you doing, Aaron?
You kind of tripped me out there with the music. I heard the music. I'm like, wait, I'm on my phone. I'm like, did I click on Pornhub by mistake? you got the cheesy porno music here going, man.
Yeah, man. So this is called Feeding the Ducks, and it's one of those free ones that you can play. I just kind of like the kind of cool little intro beat to get everything started. But yeah, that's my beginning of if you ever watch my shows. Yeah, you got an amazing resume, and I've been dying to get you on for a while, my friend. I appreciate you coming on as well. And I wanted to pay you a compliment. I've been riding hard that I'm the number 4 IDP ranker, and I'm going to ride it till I'm blue in the face till this off season's over, and I'm just going to keep putting on profile. But there's a couple people ahead of me, sir, and you're one of them. Do you know you're the number 2 IDP ranker?
I do. I know that. I didn't know that until all of a sudden every company I work for suddenly when they have IDP, it's just send it to Aaron. He'll write anything. But yep, apparently I went from a guy like I like my IDP. I got into it because I like the peripheral things that give me an advantage. Everyone knows quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You give me a DST. I love kickers. Give me a kicker. And that's how I got into IDP. I said, let's get into a league where I can be a degenerate and study deeper, where everyone's just going off a sleeper's, ADP, where I can really get into this and be sick and, get an advantage. And somehow I turned that into, well, Aaron's our go-to IDP guy for Player Profiler and DLF and my own site and everything. Somehow that's what I became, the IDP guy, and I don't know how it happened.
How you like working over at Player Profiler?
It's interesting. That's the first place I really started at. I loved it. They were the site I like the podcast I listened to when I first started them and Fantasy Football Today. I liked that they weren't your norm. Fantasy Football Today was kind of like your standard run-of-the-mill informative. Player Profiler, like they curse and swear, and they're a little more fun. Right. They like to be out there outlandish with their takes. We get a little clickbaity, I think, sometimes. We try a little too hard where I see a clip and I go, oh, this is freaking terrible. But they're fun. They're a good group of guys. I like I've met a lot of them in person. The one I was saying this the other day on Twitter when I first started their rookie guide what got me into my rookie process, and it was free at the time, and it was done pretty much entirely by Cody Carpentier. And that's probably the reason I applied to work there, because I loved Cody. And so I got there, and there's some good guys there. Matt Kelly's awesome. Matty Keywoom. We got Jason Allwine. Who else we got? Oh, Jack Kavanaugh, which is funny. I did a handful of podcasts with Jack when I first started. And, you talk to people and it's like, hey, I'm in Windsor, Ontario. Where are you, Steve? Where are you located? I forget.
I'm down in Georgia. I'm originally from Philadelphia, but I'm on East Coast time.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, well, so you're halfway across the continent for me. But yeah, people were, it's like, oh, I'm doing a podcast every day with like the guys on my show. One's in Seattle, one's in LA, one's in Amsterdam. I'm doing a podcast from time to time with Jack Kavanaugh. I find out he's 30 minutes down the highway from me. I'm like, no shit. Hey, really? So that worked out well.
You're not kidding. You've been doing podcasts nonstop. And for my audience at home that's not familiar with Aaron's work, I ask you all to check it out. What he's alluding to as well, there's some jokes on Twitter about Watson, and you're on the shorts, and I see him too, and I'm laughing. But I love Player Profiler, and that's why I was asking you. I love Player Profiler, and I also love the other network you're on, the Fantasy Football Universe. Can you tell our audience on that listen to YouTube and audience on Spotify, can you let them know a little bit about what you're doing over there? You're the co-founder, right?
Yes, we made it up. It's me, Jesse Moeller, who's at jmoeller05, Jeremy Schulman at ff_rebel, and SC Romero at the PPR show. We were all kind of doing our own thing for the same company, but we were like the managing group, I guess the leads for each department. Redraft, Dynasty, I guess IDP, whatever the hell it was. And we found that as the season went on, we were doing, at one point I was doing, I think I was 75% of the company's written work that was published, and like the same 75% of their budget in payroll. So we just kind of said, we're doing a lot of the work here. And then I had a disagreement with somebody else who felt that, I was doing a lot of the work, but he felt that I should step away and let some of the new people do it. I'm like, well, I did all the prep work. Why the hell would I do that? So we kind of took our ball and left, and we started our own thing. And I just said, well, I'm doing all the work anyways. Might as well just start my own site. So we did that.
I've been on your show a couple times now, and I don't know how many drafts you've done. Do you have a head count of how many of these that you've done?
Rookie drafts alone, like standard rookie drafts, we're up to 12. We're doing our 13th tomorrow. IDP rookie drafts, we've done 4 or 5, all with you, I think. Regular IDP drafts, we've only done 3, I believe, like actual veterans. And regular 10, 12 round startups, I believe we've done 4. We're somewhere around, 30 mock drafts, but we got through our rookie profiles. We did 150 of those. I think we did 93 offense and 55 IDP or whatever. So we got through 150 of those, and we said, well, we got nothing else to do. So I did this show. You were on Risers and Fallers, right?
I was on Risers, and then we did a couple mocks. Like this is our most recent one. I thought we did pretty good with, so I was going to kind of go over that for my audience that doesn't know and doesn't know Fantasy Football Universe or and Spotify as well. For you guys don't know, I'm burned out of these drafts. Aaron's like, you want to do another draft? I'm like, no, dude. We've been doing so many of these, and we're high in demand right now. And again, I want to pay you tribute, compliment. Being the IDP ranker, that's hard to do. You're on the Mount Rushmore right now. I don't know if you want your chiseled face on a mountain, but that's you right now. Top 4 rankers between two of us. So we've put together some good drafts, and I just wanted to put one of these on our show.
You know what I'm more thrilled with? I'm more thrilled with. Do I have that? I'm looking at that right now. I didn't realize. Do I have that time stamped? Which draft are you on? Is that the first one we did?
No, this is the one where you I'll tell you right now. So this is this is 2.0, and the first draft, the first round was I'll read it to you. You tell me how you feel. It was 1.1 was Jared Verse.
Okay.
1.2 was Latu, 1.3 was Dallas Turner. 1.4 was Chop Robinson. 1.5 was Braswell. 1.6 was Newton. 1.7 was Darius Robinson. 1.8 was Edgerrin Cooper. 1.9 was Payton Wilson. 1.10 was Jeremiah Trotter. 1.11 was Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
And then finally 1.12 over there, if I can read my own little chicken.
Byron Murphy. Oh, no, it's Tyler Nubin.
That's who it was. Tyler Nubin.
I didn't realize. When I looked at yours, I said, wait, how do you have timestamps on there? I was the one I was looking at. I was trying to do this so I could go through it with you. The live version had no timestamps, obviously.
Oh.
I didn't realize you clicked on, I re-released it as a recorded episode, and I timestamped that. So I have the whole thing in front of me, all 3 rounds of it. So that's awesome. I didn't realize I timestamped it. That's awesome.
I thought that was one of our better drafts, like the way the order went out. I really think these drafts are going to start defensive line or edge.
They should.
At least the first 6. How do you feel about that first round?
Top 3, I still have in that those are the top 3. I have it Turner versus Latu, but for me it's Turner and versus 1A and 1B, then Latu. After that, I think I like ours better than some of the ones you've shown me. Like
exactly.
I like Chop there. I like Braswell. I like Jer'Zhan Newton, Darius Robinson. Then you start to get into the other positions here a bit. I like Cooper.
Would you move Darius Robinson up? That's what I was wondering.
I could make a case to move him as high as 105 above
Yeah,
Braswell and Newton. I wouldn't
agreed.
fault you. That range, the 105 to 107, I kind of find all the same. I don't think I have them moved above Chop, though. I think I have Chop at 104.
I think that's the first round for me as well, because you're going to have linebackers. I don't care how shallow the draft is. It's just what order. You may see, what was I going to say? What's his name there? You may see Cooper DeJean move up in the first round.
Same with Quinyon Mitchell. He's likely to go top 15 in the draft. He will probably go up. But like I said, that's for me, I think DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are probably better players than some of the guys taken in that first round. But for me, it's all about position. We said this before when we've done these. Hammer D line in IDP drafts. Hammer D line, when the D line, especially edge if you can, but when that's depleted, then you transition to linebacker depending on scoring. I punt DBs. So, like, I like Tyler Nubin. I like Cooper DeJean, whatever. I like Quinyon Mitchell, but I'm punting DB. So that's where all of them, if you're in a league that prioritizes interceptions and stuff like that, where they would be bumped up a bit, I think they're better talent than some of these guys, but I have them as back end first round, early second round, just because of the position they play. I punt DB.
And you were alluding to one of the other drafts I showed you. Yeah, I'm in a Dynasty Nerds draft now, and I ended up getting Verse, Newton, and I'm sorry, Verse. No, I got Verse,
Nubin.
Nubin, I meant to say, and DeJean. That's 3 first rounders according to us, all in the first 3 rounds. So people got it all over the place, but I feel like that first round is probably the best that I've seen out there with Verse, Latu, Turner, Robinson, Braswell, Newton, Edge, Wilson, Trotter, and Murphy. I think you can't go wrong with that.
We said it too, that I think right now a lot of people are going by like the PFF big board or where they're ranked in the actual draft for IDP, and I don't think a lot of people have a great feel for this class. That's why in that draft you were alluding to, you see some things where it's like, what was the one we said? Cedric Gray in our draft here. Where did Gray go? He went at the 205. 2.5, yeah. In yours, in that one, he went 105. So,
and then you had Cooper 1.8 here. There's a lot of this linebacker class, and let me ask you this linebacker class, in my opinion, they're good guys. I can make a case for a lot of them, but I can see warts too. So if I'm going to punt one position and maybe take a chance on a sleeper, I'd probably do linebacker, but I want to share this cornerback class and this edge class because I think they're really strong.
I love the edge class. I do like like I said, the cornerback class. I'm not that high on the safeties with the exception of Nubin, basically. The linebackers I don't mind, but the problem is I think between, Cooper, Wilson, Trotter. Cooper and Wilson I like better. Trotter I like too, but there's 3 of them that are pretty much in the same range for me. So I love the D-line class here. There's a ton of edge.
Note too, on cornerbacks, I don't think I know anybody right now that has it. Actually, Jamie Perot going for 2.com. He's actually pretty good with these cornerback class, but I think you're at the top right now. Those top 8, the way you have them ranked is the way I see it going down as well.
I like Terrion Arnold as well. He's going to get good draft capital. I think him and Mitchell are guaranteed to go in the first round. I think DeJean might go last out of the 3 of them, so Arnold might rise. He's 207 in this draft. He will probably go up a little higher, but I guess we'll see come draft day.
So in our draft, 2.1, we'll read second round. 2.1 was DeJean. 2.2 was Quinyon Mitchell. 2.3 was Bralen Trice. 2.4 was Junior Colson. 2.5 was Cedric Gray. 2.6 was Kamren Kinchens. 2.7 was
Terrion Arnold.
2.8 was Tommy Eichenberg. 2.9 was Sweat. 2.10 was Taylor. 2.11 was Bullard, the safety. And who was 2.12?
Jaden Bullock.
Jaden Bullock. There you go. And I have a couple critiques this round. I'm curious though. Any highs, any lows of the second round? What are your thoughts here?
You start to see the other positions go.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more like Bralen Trice. I think I like a little bit better than this.
Mm-hmm.
Sweat, I have a little higher. Taylor, but see, this is like I don't know. Some of the positions here fell a little more. We loaded up on ours. We loaded D line early.
We did.
Then you see in ours. Well, it was just the two of us drafting, so it wasn't a whole lobby. So you see, we
Right.
kind of alternated, and we were talking through it too, so we knew which positions we were punting. But I think
That's
you
why I
see,
think I love this draft better than most because it was just me and you, and we kind of think the same on this, you know?
yeah, just you see a lot of guys that fell to the second round for us that went in first rounds of other drafts. Like I don't really love Colson in the first. I don't love Gray in the first. They both belong in the second for me.
Yeah.
Terrion Arnold's probably the guy I would have bumped up. Like I said, Tavondre Sweat at 209 I like, but I don't know if he translates as a nose tackle into a fantasy producer at the next level, but he's going to get draft capital. So I don't know. I looking at this draft, really the first time where I looked and I thought people now that would go higher, I think I like Wiggins in the third round higher. Wiggins, McKinstry, Rakestraw, those three in a row, I think I would be taking now over Bullard, Bullock, Kneeland. And I also like Jonah Ellis and Fisk, but I think we did this one before the combine.
We did.
Which is why Fisk
holds,
went at 307 because he
this draft kind of holds up when I look at it. Well, you know, linebacker, I think we got right, which was Cooper 1, Wilson 2, Colson 3, Cedric Gray 5, Tommy Eichenberg 6. Oh, I forgot Trotter 3rd. You know, but I think we got that order right. And the cornerback, which was much to do with you, I think we got that right. Yeah. Dealer's choice defensive line, we killed that. I think if there's any room for error, I'm punting most of these safeties now. Yeah. There is, who did we take? Bullard 2.11. I'm okay moving him up 1 or 2 spots, not a whole lot. His combine was pretty good. Bullard had a pretty decent combine. I don't know if you remember him, but I kind of highlighted him. He ran a 4.47. He had a 40-yard dash. That was pretty darn good. He's probably a safety nickel hybrid next level, but all the positioning drills he did pretty well.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be a valid player, but I'd probably move him up, and I think I would punt Kinchens a little bit unless he gets some kind of Jamal Adams role next level, and I don't really know. Landing spots are going to kill a lot of these guys, to be honest.
That's exactly it. I think they're all just grouped together right now. You wait and see which ones get draft capital, which ones get a good landing spot, and go from there. I don't think once we get to the middle of the second, in this draft, I don't think there's much separation. You got the hiccups, right. Sorry.
No, you're good. Let me read the third round while you're curing your hiccups, okay? 3.1 was Marshawn Kneeland. 3.2 was Wiggins. Here's the run on corner you're looking for. 3.3 is Kool-Aid Man, right? 3.4 was Rakeshaw. 3.5 was Tyron Hopper. 3.6 was Jalen Ford. 3.7 was Braden Fisk. 3.8 is Jonah Ellis. 3.9 was Jaden Hicks. 3.10, another corner. I can't read it.
Kamari Lassiter, Chris Jenkins, TJ Tampa.
There you go. So we had a lot of corners in this round. Anything that sticks out to you? Anything that jumps out the third round?
Yeah, that don't expect to see this many corners late. We listened to what we were saying and we punted DB, which meant that all these corners that normally people would have overdrafted much higher. Like I think some of these guys, this group of Wiggins, McKinstry, Rakestraw probably would have gone early second. This group here towards the end that went at the end of the third, they probably would have gone on the 2-3 turn. But since we kind of both agreed and we both knew we were punting DB, we just kind of waited. And then you seen once all the D linemen were gone and all the linebackers were gone, we just loaded up on, pick your favorite corner or safety.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to see Braden Fisk go that low anymore. I mean,
not after the combine.
But the combine he blew up with the 4.78 speed, and then not only that, I really don't care about defensive tackle speed. I know a lot of guys do. I care about the 10-yard split. He had 1.68 and a remarkable 9'9" broad jump.
Yeah, he was great.
Fisk, and he had a good vertical jump. I can't remember right now. Oh, he was third place in the vertical. So I think Fisk is going to be one of those anomalies. I don't know if you remember the draft with J.J. Watt when he came out. he wasn't a top 10 consideration until Combine Day. Steam started rolling and he started getting picked up at his position. So I can see Fisk moving up boards, but I don't think you're going to get him late anymore like we were back then. And you already said Jonah Ellis. Jonah Ellis is another one. He's picking up steam, especially after his national attention game when he had 5 sacks in 2 games back to back. But he's my DL10. But yeah, so the third round, those corners, man, they all went really quick off the board.
Yeah. Well, in most drafts, none of those would be available. They go considerably earlier than that. But in ours, like I said, that's what you got to know your room, though. In our room, we knew, we were talking through it. Normally in a draft, you wouldn't be telling each other, well, I'm going to be punting DB in this, but I draft to punt DB. And it's funny because I do a mock draft with the other guys on my show, and you can tell when you know your room. They'll have it where it's like, oh, well, I'm going to take this guy here because otherwise Aaron's going to take him with his next pick. And sure enough, or they said, oh, well, you can wait on this guy because Aaron won't draft a tight end here. And I said, well, okay, you're right. So know your league.
Order, though.
Yeah,
the order, I think the order merits the way it's going to go down. I respect it. Here's a final thought for your final question for you as far as the draft goes. Would there be anybody else that you'd want to put on your board? I just did a podcast with Big Steve over at IDP Guys. He's a collegiate scout. We came up with like 12, 13 names that are like outside the third round. You can get off waivers. I'm kind of curious if any of those names kind of hit you at all. But anybody you would want to put in here, maybe take a corner or two off?
Just a sec. I've got to look through my big board here. I literally, like I said, I wrote 153 rookie IDP bios. So I'm just going to scroll through my list. I know there was a whole bunch where I looked and I said, oh, I'm going to elevate them a bit. Let me look through and see. Give me 1 sec here.
Okay. I want to spit some names at you too and just see if they hit you at all.
I liked McKinley Jackson. Was it Xavier Thomas? I like Xavier Thomas. Let me look through. Bralen Trice. Oh, he was already on the list.
So let me ask you a couple names here. Anybody stick out to you? I got mostly linebackers, some punts. Curtis Jacobs, Nathaniel Watson, Aaron Casey. A couple DBs too. Cole Bishop we didn't rank. You know how I am about Sion Vacchi. That dude's going to call me up one night and be like, dude, stop talking about me. And we didn't get Adisa Isaac. I always have him outside the third. But those are some names, Isaac, Jacobs, Watson, Casey, Bishop, Vacchi, that usually pop out in drafts that we didn't get back then. This is an older draft now too, of course. But I think the order's still good.
Jacobs I liked. Who else we got here? Jerrion Jones. There was I don't know. I like a few of those guys. We got pretty much, the majority of them. I like Tyke Smith a little bit, safety out of Georgia. I'm trying to see. I think we covered them. We did a pretty good job there. I don't mind Kalen Carson, the cornerback out of Wake Forest. Cole Bishop, you said I liked out of Utah. He was a good one. We already got TJ Tampa in. No, I think we got most of them. I'm scrolling through my little list here, my notes from Player Profiler, but I think all the ones that I really thought merited a selection, we already got to. I don't see anyone else that really stood out. There were a couple of the guys that we drafted that I liked considerably higher after, but we've already talked about them.
Right. And like I said, this is the time of year where you guys that are watching at home or you guys on Spotify, you exploit your drafts because value's all over the place. It's all about your scoring. It's all about what you're going after. Check Aaron's work out at Player Profiler. He writes detailed scouting reports on these guys. And please check out the Fantasy Universe. I'll be back on with Aaron. We're probably going to do some more drafts, some risers and fallers. Aaron, any closing thoughts for the audience as they play my porn music?
Actually, the Player Profiler stuff, those are just, I write the bios for them there. The actual full write-ups are at Fantasy Football Universe. I think we did about 60 IDP guys, so that's a good spot to start.
Mm-hmm. And check us both out at IDP Guys. And then, of course, on both networks, we're going to go back and forth. But again, I look forward to seeing you, Aaron. And hopefully next year, you're the number 1 ranker and I'm the number 2 ranker. What do you think?
That sounds good to me.
That's a good goal to have, right?
I know somebody who would disagree with that, but oh well.
Oh, I put my foot in my mouth, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? Competition's good. It makes us all grow. It makes us all better. Iron sharpens iron, my friends.
That it
Okay,
does.
we're going to head out tonight, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.